Hey Beans, and welcome to one of my favorite videos, the Did You Know videos, where I'm going to tell you guys a bunch of funny little facts about Animal Jam. And this week I'm going to try and focus a little bit on pets, because there's some funny little pet facts that have been springing up. So let's get right into it with the title of this video, the Rainbow Llama. So the Rainbow Llama is something that's existed for a while, but no one has really caught on to, I feel like. I've never seen a Rainbow Llama in the game, but as soon as I saw one, I was like, oh my god, this needs to be a trend. So it's not actually a promo pet or anything, but actually if you go to the Play As Your Pet party or the Pets Only party and you put a llama bean in this special little pet stop, well, you can actually just make the fur color totally rainbow and make some absolutely hilarious looks. So I honestly don't know why rainbow pets haven't caught on beforehand. Like, I remember when the Rainbow Puffle came out in Club Penguin, everyone was freaking out. And now we have rainbow pets in actual Animal Jam. Pretty cool, I think. And a funny little fact about my favorite pet in the entire game, the pet mouse. If you actually take a pet mouse into water, like in Crystal Sands or something, and you walk through a pool of water, well, actually, the mouse gets on a little tiny boat. I mean, these things are so adorable. Just, you can't make them any more adorable than they already are, and Animal Jam keeps doing it. Every time I find out something new about these things, I'm like, oh. And a little funny fact about the Year of the Rooster party. Since the rooster is the only pet allowed in the party, if you switch it to a flying animal while at the party, well, the rooster will stay with you, and you can have a flying rooster pet, which I find absolutely hilarious. And speaking of the rooster's party, oh, Animal Jam kind of forgot to change the decorations from the monkeys party that was like a year ago. So you still have all the monkey decorations, even though it's now the Year of the Rooster and not exactly the Year of the Monkey. So maybe take a look at that. I don't know. In Animal Jam news this week, first of all, we have some people kind of got magenta sheep wool when they open their message in a bottle. Like, oh my god, more magenta items. Just what the rarity system needed. Like, right as it's getting back on its feet, and people are like, yay, friends over rares. Like, rarity isn't that important anymore. Like, we're getting bored of all these old items. All these magenta items show up, and all of a sudden, everyone cares about magenta items and rares. And magenta items aren't even cool. They're just rare, and it's like, okay. But basically, there is a magenta sheep wool going around, and it is quite rare because it didn't appear that often in people's messages in a bottle. It was just a glitched version that appeared sometimes. But there is some good news about the sheep wool. It looks ridiculous and stupid and glitched. And as always, that makes for some absolutely hilarious looks. It looks like this giant fat belly on all of your animals, but there's some especially cool ones. First of all, you've got the deer, where it literally comes up to their neck and it looks like they're just like being suffocated by this giant like mothball. But then it gets better than that. You can put a snowman mask on its head and then a Jamali scarf around its neck, and you have a penguin snowman, and you can't tell the difference. It's hilarious. You can literally just walk around as a snowman in Animal Jam, and it's very fun. And one cool little fact about the mushroom den that I find quite interesting from one of my fans. So actually, if you go into the mushroom den, it's unique because grass is like actually the size of real grass, and you're like teeny tiny, and you look very small compared to this grass, and you're literally living inside of a mushroom. So the question this person proposed was, how the heck is this real? Like, how can we live in these giant fantasy castles and stuff and like visit Club Geos and things that look like our size, but then have this giant mushroom that's like a million times our size with giant blades of grass and stuff? Well, actually what I think is all these little rooms that seem to fit to our size are actually Animal Jam play sets. And then the reason you can actually make a den in a giant mushroom is because all of us animals are the size of the Animal Jam play toys. So you're like a toy inside of the play set, but then you're small enough to like fit inside of a mushroom. So everything in our world is like an actual Animal Jam play set that you can buy. That seems really weird to me, but it's the only explanation I can think of to explain this weird mushroom den phenomenon. And you know that little window in the Temple of Zeus where there's like a flag with a monkey on it, and that's about it? And no one knows what it is, and Apari actually made like an entire 10-minute video just like talking about what that window is. Well, I don't think most people know this, but it actually used to be a place where you could buy den portals. I didn't even know this until I got this email. But what's even more interesting to me is if you look really closely at this window, you'll notice that the design on it is actually a monkey in a circle, just like the monkey coin that was released for a little bit along with that famous horse coin and then removed like a couple weeks later without an explanation ever. And what's even more interesting on top of that is if you look really closely at all of the little tags you can put next to your username on Animal Jam, well, all of the animal ones actually look just like the coins that I talked about before. You know, like the fox one looks just like the fox coin. It's just so cool how these coins are still in the game. They seem to have some sort of really cool lore significance that Animal Jam is just teasing us with, and we'll never really learn what these coins are for or about, or maybe we will, and I'll finally have to stop like wondering about it every second of every day. And I wanted to share with you guys another golden pet scam, unfortunately. I know you're probably tired of these, but so what this is it's a golden gecko pet scam. And what people do, as usual, is they get a yellow pet, they dress it up in pet wash and make it all sparkly, and it looks like a golden pet. But the problem with this one is there's no real golden gecko to make it look like it's fake. It just looks like a real golden gecko from first glance. And it can seem like an unreleased item because if you look up golden gecko, nothing shows up. And it's pretty hard to realize that you can actually use pet wash to make your pets sparkle. So if you just see a random golden sparkling gecko, you can easily think that it's some sort of unreleased promo item. And a lot of people have been thinking that. So please don't fall for the golden gecko scam. It's not a real thing. And here's a cool unreleased item that I've never seen before. It doesn't seem like something Animal Jam would add into the game, but it's very interesting how this person got it. I didn't see anything about it on the Animal Jam wiki, and I've never seen another copy, so maybe it's some sort of rare promo item. But this person actually has an armory, like an actual medieval armory for like weapons, like axes and swords and medieval weaponry, like something that's quite violent for Animal Jam. I was surprised they even added nunchucks, and now they're literally adding a place to store your medieval weapons. But look at that. There's a brand new item in Animal Jam, and if it did come out, I'd be quite excited that Animal Jam is trying to take a more mature approach, and I feel like overall, they are targeting a little bit of an older age range than they might have been when they started. It's more geared towards like 10 to 14, maybe, more than like 8 to 12, I feel like. Although that's not totally true, just in general, I feel like some aspects are moving towards that side. And something really cool that one of my fans actually showed me. So you know how there's that weird sort of symbol that Peck drew that you can't really figure out? Like, what the heck is that? It's that giant paint splatter, and it looks like nonsense, and a couple of people have sent me emails trying to like decode it using different languages and codes and secrets. But what's really interesting is it actually has a meaning. If you go to those tiles that you normally use to like connect power to a lever and then pull the lever, if you arrange them in this exact order that the paint splatters tell you, well, you can actually open up a secret room that will give you some secret messages that were left by Peck, which makes sense because these paint splatters were in fact left by Peck, as you can tell, because paint, Peck, artistic, you know, she's the only one in the entire game who like does art, so that makes sense. But the messages themselves are pretty interesting. I've already covered them in another video, so I won't go too into depth. Basically what they say is the Phantoms are planning to invade Jamar Township, and Peck was here. Cool. And did you know that you can actually see the back of that famous elephant statue from the Adventure Base Camp, which is really strange because I've always theorized that the Adventure Base Camp was like all the way down in the bottom of the map in like some hidden corner that we can't see. Yet here we can see that it's like on the back of the Temple of Zeus, even though that doesn't totally add up because there are lands behind the Temple of Zeus. So it seems like Animal Jam is just messing with space a little bit and just kind of gave up on actually having spatial reasoning, which is a real shame because I was really going somewhere with those conspiracies. Oh well. And Maj777 actually showed me that in one of the parties there's actually a picture of a doctor, and if you look really closely, the doctor's name is actually Dr. LOL. Wow. Aha! And in the Zeus Ball Soul Arcade game, well, on the side there's this sort of picture of a ball and then a little streak coming out, which looks normal because that's what you do in the game. But again, I've theorized in the past that Zeus is a toucan. I keep bringing this up, I know, but there are more and more things that point to it. And if you look closely, this Zeus game, that's themed after Zeus, has this ball and the stripe, which looks just like a toucan's beak and eye. Maybe total coincidence, but it's not, because that would be lame. And something really cool that I don't totally get, that I'm kind of turning to you guys to end this video. So blue whales are one animal that a lot of people have talked about having an Animal Jam, and I don't think blue whales will ever truly be released. I think Animal Jam is just ditching underwater. I don't think they will ever add anything else to underwater, unless it's an underwater diamond shop, but even that might be pushing it. Well, blue whales are that one thing that people still relentlessly push for, along with like those African dogs that Pepper really wants or something. But basically, we know that blue whales are actually already in Animal Jam. In the adventure Into Deep, my buddy Zenith122 actually showed me there is a giant blue whale in the background, and animals can't exist in Animal Jam without a Heartstone. But then this brings up the question of how the heck do we have all the Journey Book animals if they don't have their Heartstone? And if they have their Heartstone, why can't we play them? Seriously, I want to be a red panda. That would be sick. I want to be like fireflies. I want to be moss. I want to be gold. Okay, gold. Got a little carried away there. But you know what I mean. It's really interesting how Animal Jam lore doesn't totally add up, and I'd be really curious to learn how they justify the fact that there are these Journey Book animals, even though those animals don't have their Heartstones in the game. So anyways, Beans, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you learned something, and if you have a cool little fact you want to send in, chilling2moments@gmail.com is the place to go. I don't really get that many Did You Know facts, so if you want to get featured in a video, go ahead and send one in, and I promise that if it's worth anything at all, it will be featured. So anyways, Beans, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!